Hi, Marwa. Okay, brilliant. I've got your task 2 and your task 1 in front of me here from your email. Really well done on completing these tasks. It's taking great steps towards improving your English, and they're not easy things to do, so really well done. It shows a great commitment to your studies. We'll start with task 2 because this was the first one in your email, and arguably the longer task that you have. So this was the essay on international marketing. All right then. So from a structural point of view, this is looking good. It's not too long. You've got different parts. I can see that you've got an introduction at the beginning. You've got then two sort of 2.5, 3 main paragraphs, and then a summary or conclusion at the end. So this is a really good start. Let's look at your introduction first of all. Marketing is a powerful driver to all businesses nowadays. People have always argued about the values of marketing, especially the international one, whether it is intrusive or it carries benefits in terms of education, spreading of ideas, language and cultures. I do strongly agree with the notion that it brings benefits more than being intrusive. All right then, so marketing is a powerful driver to all businesses nowadays. Strong opening sentence in terms of idea. Some of the language is a little bit bizarre here, okay, so we could maybe change it slightly, but I see exactly the idea that you're going for. Marketing is a powerful, we could say perhaps marketing is a powerful force behind businesses nowadays. Okay, take out all because that one is not really needed here. So marketing is a powerful force behind businesses nowadays. Okay, so I can see that you're going for a strong opening sentence there to outline the key ideas. People have always argued about the values of marketing, especially international marketing, we would put here, just to make it really clear. Okay, this is where your sentence starts to get a little bit long with quite a lot of commas. So what I would say to do here is, so people have always argued about the values of marketing, especially international marketing, full stop. Okay, then we could maybe say they argue or they debate whether it is intrusive, no comma there, or it carries benefits in terms of education, spreading of ideas, language and cultures. Okay, and then you've got your opinion at the end. So I do strongly agree with the notion that it brings benefits more than being intrusive. Be careful with do here. We don't need a do here. So I strongly agree with the notion that it brings benefits more than being intrusive. Okay. I would argue from the question, so we've got discuss both views and then give your opinion. In order to keep that structure really clear, I would say possibly use your opinion in the conclusion rather than in the introduction. That way it keeps your introduction nice and brief. It allows you to show that you're aware that you need to discuss both views instead of just one of them. And it means that you've got a strong conclusion as well. Okay, so next part. Now, in terms of structure here, when I was reading through, there is a little bit of confusion over whether you're talking about supporters or opponents at some points. So to show you what I mean, if we look at that first paragraph, this one. Okay, so they're the supporters of the intrusive nature, or those that believe in the intrusive nature of international marketing, okay, to make it really clear, have always said that it has a tremendous negative impact on the local culture, behaviour and consumption. Okay, so then you go on to talk about the negatives for the first 2 sentences, and then you are talking about positives again towards the end. To make that really clear, I would suggest that you have an example in the middle. Okay, because at the moment we've just got two outlines. We've got the what you are saying is the negative side, and then you're arguing it with your personal opinion. Whilst this is a good example and we're giving it a good opinion there, it's always good to have an informed example as well. So maybe if there is something from your country that you could put into this paragraph, just to show that maybe people believed that this international marketing would be intrusive in this example, but it's evident that it wasn't, so you're making it really clear. Alright, from a language point of view, they attribute any change that affects, with an S, their society to the negative effects of marketing. Well done. Certainly there are clear changes to certain attitudes, but not to the extent of changing culture significantly. Okay, well done. And this is where you've brought in your own opinion after that, so it would be good to have a concrete example to go in the middle there. What was evident to me is the fact that international marketing introduces, because we're talking in the present here, introduces with an S on the end, introduces new services, commodities, which many of them promoted. Yes, commodities, many of which promoted an easier, more comfortable life, okay, without disturbing the culture or civilization. Good. In my point of view, from my point of view, this has a positive result rather than a negative one. In addition to that, there is always a certain degree of adaptation in order to resonate to different populations with respect to their local culture. All right, yeah, I see where you're going with this. Be careful with this in order, which is in, you've put commas around it, which makes it a little bit confusing. So in addition to that, there is always a certain degree of adaptation in order to resonate to different populations. You might say instead, there is always a period of adaptation, so a time of adaptation to instead of resonate, because this word is causing a little bit of confusion, to resonate to different populations. I think the word that you're looking for here, instead of to resonate, is kind of to integrate into different populations, so that instead of being invasive, it's kind of complementary of different populations, so to integrate into different populations with respect to their local culture. Alright, good. The opponents of the notion that international marketing is intrusive. Alright, be careful with opponents because it has two P's, O-P-P-O-N-E-N-T-S. The opponents of the notion that international marketing is intrusive have a solid, clear point of view. Comma between solid and clear, because it's two adjectives. Solid, comma, clear point of view. Claiming that international marketing has a substantial beneficial effect on education, spreading of ideas, language and culture. Alright, good. I totally agree with this. Okay, coming from a developing country, I experienced this. Good, I saw my nation triggered with two G's. Okay, so spelling there, triggered with two G's. Triggered to develop themselves by the ideas reaching them from the developed countries. It changed the way we... So in here we need a verb. It changed the way we understood science, or we explored science, or we researched science, art, and the most important change was how we view human rights. Okay, it clarified and portrayed clear standards that we should adhere to in order to have a fair, just way to deal with different population groups, especially the most vulnerable ones. Alright, this is good. You've got lots of great vocabulary in that part. What I would suggest is going a little bit further with that example, because you said, I experienced this. and then you saw, I saw my nation triggered to develop themselves by the ideas reaching them from developed countries. What ideas were reaching from developed countries, and how were they coming in? Was it through international marketing from a specific company, for example? So if you can put a more concrete example in there, it will really support your argument. Okay, so the last one, to recapitulate. Okay, what we would probably say instead is in conclusion. Okay, that just makes it totally clear to the reader that you're now onto your conclusion. So in conclusion, using international marketing wisely. So instead of using international marketing wisely has, no comma there. So using international marketing wisely, no comma, has far more advantages than disadvantages with respect to education, culture, and the reinforcement of positive social values. It, capital letter here, it also enriches different countries with continuous addition of new experiences. Continuous has continuous. Yeah, we're missing one U here. CONTINUOUS. Okay, continuous addition of new experiences, which I consider not intrusive at all. All right, well done. Good. It's a strong essay, definitely. Just to recap, I would definitely include a couple more concrete examples just to make it clear. And also signpost your reader. So if you're changing from talking about negatives of international marketing to why you think it is a positive, you need to make that really, really clear to the reader. Okay. Okay, so that was your task 2. Let's have a look at your task 1. So for this task, you were obviously looking at the diagram and describing. So the bar chart depicts the number of pet owners in hundreds and thousands over a period of 8 years from 1990 to 1998 in 6 countries: Wales, Canada, America, Ireland, Scotland and England. Okay, this sentence is quite long. You might have realised when I was reading that there, that it goes into almost a list here. So it becomes quite long here. We could make this slightly more concise by saying the bar chart depicts the number of pet owners in hundreds and thousands from 1990 to 1998, because otherwise we're saying the same thing twice, in 6 countries. Okay. Right. The next one. So generally, the numbers of pet owners in the 6 countries slightly fluctuated. This should be fluctuated with a U instead of an A. So FLUCTUATED over the 8-year period. Good. Beginning has 2 N's, BEGINNING, with slightly less than 800,000 in 1990. Good, well done. Good use of slightly less there, really good. Yeah, good. Be careful here because we've got beginning, remember, with 2 N's, but then we've got to end. So we've got an ing verb and then we've got an infinitive verb. What we want to do is to be consistent. So beginning with slightly less than 800,000 in 1990 and ending with almost 850,000 in 1998, no year. Okay, in 1998. That way it's consistent throughout your sentence. And the highest number was for year 1994. We'd probably say instead the highest number was in 1994, where it reached around, good, 920,000. Full stop. Capital letter. For the next one, on the other hand, comma, the lowest was in 1995 with around 650,000. Well done. That's really good. In terms of individual countries' numbers, okay, be careful here. Okay, what I would say instead is in terms of individual countries. Okay, otherwise it becomes a little bit wordy. In terms of individual countries, Canada started with 140,000 in 1990. Okay, in 1990, reaching 180,000 in 1998. Well done, that's good. While Wales, at the beginning, so we need commas here, while Wales, comma, just put that in, while Wales, comma, at the beginning, comma, had 100,000 pet owners and kept fluctuating, again with a U, fluctuating, to reach the highest figure in 1992 and 1993 with around 180,000. Okay, well done. Good. This bit at the end is hanging slightly, so to reach the highest figure in 1992 and 1993 with around 180,000 and ending up with 120,000. Okay, so no comma, and ending up with 120,000. The USA started with 100,000. The maximum number was in 1992 and 1994 with 200,000 pet owners. In 1992, comma, it ended up with 180,000. Ireland was almost steady over the course of 8 years, starting with 80,000 and ending with 80,000. Okay, good. Same with Scotland, it fluctuated, remember with a U, around 180,000. Full stop. England showed minimal variation. Well done, good. It, capital I, it started with 100,000, so missing a zero there, with almost steady increment and drops of about 20,000 to end up with 140,000. Okay, so with steady increases and decreases of about 20,000 to end up with 140,000. Good. Okay, well done. You've got a good command of the different numbers here and really good use of approximation, so slightly less, almost, around. They're really good. Okay, it makes it really clear. Okay, really well done on both of those tasks. You've clearly got a good level of language. I would say the advice from here is to try and, especially in task 2, is to look at your structure slightly. Make sure it's always really clear to the reader whether you're talking about positives or negatives and using examples. And in task 1, it's just about some of your sentence lengths that are a little bit too long sometimes, and using phrases like in the year 1998 or at year 1992. Instead, we can just say in 1992 or in 1998. All right, fantastic work, really well done. Okay, and keep practicing and you will see improvements very fast. Great work, well done.